Fabrizio Romano reveals Liverpool are on the lookout for Bukayo Saka. It is known that Liverpool is closely monitoring the ongoing contract status between Arsenal and Bukayo Saka. The Reds continue to apply pressure after contract negotiations between the player and the club came to a halt. Fabrizio Romano provided an update on the situation, claiming that top English clubs are monitoring the situation. Bukayo Saka is an Arsenal Academy graduate and has become one of the Premier League's best young players in recent seasons. Fabrizio Romano made the latest status update regarding the current situation. Romano said, "Arsenal is very keen on securing a new deal for Saka and has made it a top priority for the team. Because the management and technical team see Bukayo Saka as a key player. And if the contract extension happens, it will be like a new transfer." However, no progress has been made in the contract negotiations, which is whetting the appetite of English clubs. Some English clubs are closely monitoring the situation between Saka and the club. Liverpool is one of these clubs. Saka's current deal expires in the summer of 2024. This is why all top clubs in England, especially Liverpool, are hoping to put pressure on the situation in the hopes of a potential disruption to contract negotiations. Saka's departure from Arsenal will make a huge splash and his next club will likely be Liverpool after the departure, he said. Saka is currently worth £58.50 million. The 20-year-old has been part of the Arsenal ace squad since 2019 and has since become star players. Initially starting as a left-back, the player evolved into the wing position and took on Arsenal's main offensive plan. He beat the £72 million Nicolas Pepe in form and scored 11 goals in the league last season and produced 7 assists. Despite missing a heartbreaking penalty in the European Championship final for England, he has become one of his country's regulars and is now seen as one of the country's versatile young talents. The longer the contract negotiations take, the more pressure Liverpool will apply. This is definitely something to consider, but it looks like Saka's fate at Arsenal will become clear in the coming weeks. Liverpool chasing one of the Bundesliga's top talents. Liverpool are aiming to sign one of the most respected midfielders in the Bundesliga this summer, and that's not Jude Bellingham. According to the News of Fitches, Liverpool is closely following the situation of Borussia Mönchengladbach star Florian Neuhaus instead of Bellingham. The 25-year-old has managed to establish himself as one of the best midfielders in Germany in recent seasons. Last season, he managed to contribute to 8 goals in the Bundesliga matches for Gladbach. But what stands out more than his scoring contribution is his work in the deep areas of the field. The names that Liverpool have been linked to lately are not the ones that have been linked to take on a new role in the midfield. When we look at the player style sought, it stands out that he is looking for a deep playmaker that can compete with Thiago. The search for players in this profile does not affect Liverpool's long-term midfield transfer Jude Bellingham. Bellingham is a full-action midfielder who will contribute to Jürgen Klopp's team both offensively and defensively. He will come to play the role of the team currently occupied by the aging Jordan Henderson to the right of midfield centre Fabinho. Neuhaus isn't particularly suited to such a role. He lacks mobility. Instead, Thiago is seen as a potential rival and eventual successor to Alcantara. A player who can go deep into the field, collect the ball and move it forward efficiently. He is a name who can adjust the tempo of the team and reach the third zone very quickly with his quick attack starts, helping to unprepare the opposing team's defense. Liverpool's midfield options are not getting younger and sooner or later this area of the pitch will need a complete overhaul at Anfield. And it seems wise for Liverpool to start a revamp this summer. Young star Liverpool, thought too much, rejects new deal with existing club. The 18-year-old is one of Aston Villa's most exciting players and has already impressed manager Steven Gerrard. The former Liverpool midfielder has already given the young player 16 appearances for the A-team. Liverpool have been interested in Chukwuemeka this summer as Jürgen Klopp has been keeping an eye out for potential midfield additions, and Neil Jones reported that the Aston Villa duel was a lot of thought at Anfield. The English star's current contract at Aston Villa expires in the summer of 2023, which means he can pre-contract with another club in January if there is no prior agreement. According to Mike McGrath's statements, Chukwuemeka has turned down Aston Villa's request for a contract extension and thinks he is ready to leave the club. It looks like a door has been opened for Liverpool's favourite. Liverpool undeniably have an aging midfielder in their 30s with Milner, Henderson and Thiago, and injured players like Oxlade-Chamberlain and Keita are in this midfield setup. Klopp may soon turn his attention to a potential remake. It has been reported from all windows that Jude Bellingham could be the big signing coming next summer, but Chukwuemeka could be a player who could add to Red's firepower much sooner. He comes as a team player and may mature over time with names like Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott and Fabio Carvalho. There's no doubt that Liverpool are one of the most exciting teams to sign in world football, so the Aston Villa star can't say no to joining Klopp's team. Data shows Darwin Nunez given time. Darwin Nunez failed to attract the attention of the fans in his first practice matches for Liverpool. Honestly, it might take some getting used to. In fact, the club and the fans may have to accept this as almost inevitable. When you go back and look at Nunez at Benfica, the data definitely suggests that. The Uruguayan transferred to Portugal after having success with Almeria in the Spanish league. The 20-year-old Nunez scored 16 goals and was a very promising player judging by his statistics. He averaged just over 3 shots per game, says StatsBomb data on FBref. Nunez also hit the target with over 47% of his shots and 28% of those found the net. Then came a record transfer to Benfica and the player struggled at first. Nunez suddenly averaged 2.8 shots per 90 and hit the target only 40% of the time. 26% of those on-target shots still found the net, so the finishing ability was still there, but he wasn't as able to find opportunities as easily. Nunez's second season with Benfica saw everything improve across the board. More shots, more on target, and 50% of his on-target shots went in. That's an incredible jump, and the stats easily show why Liverpool made him their first choice signing, in Jürgen Klopp's words. When these data are examined, it seems that Nunez can definitely have a promising career, even if it takes some time to get over the acclimation process. There are many similar examples in Liverpool. Names like Robertson, Fabinho and Naby Keita were unable to play as soon as they arrived. So when we see that there is someone like Nunez who has had these kinds of struggles before, it's easy to see why he needs some time to find himself. Nunez was a huge success wherever he went, and we know he can succeed on the big stage. Liverpool need to do everything they can to make this transition as easy as possible.